Hi guys, welcome back to 100% Mags. So I hope you're all staying safe and well out there. Well, it's ended down at the MX with Brighton coming away 3-1 winners against Newcastle United. I mean, what the hell has just happened there? That game was absolutely dreadful. It's some of the worst football I have seen Eddie Howe produce at Newcastle United since coming into the club. I mean, the team just absolutely sucked the life out of that game in the first half of the game. The second half, we picked it up a little bit, of course, with Callum Wilson coming into the game as a substitute. We're seeing Longstaff coming into the game as a substitute as well. Barnes coming on very late on in the game. But that game was absolutely dreadful. That is not how Newcastle United play. That is definitely not how Newcastle United play under Eddie Howe. That reminded me of Bacon Tits at Newcastle. That reminded me of his style of play, that first half, the way we went about that first half. It was not Newcastle United under Eddie Howe. It was not the intensity is our identity style of football that we seen, from Newcastle United last season. That game was absolutely dreadful. We've got 2 weeks now to wait because of the international break before we come back, of course, for our first game back, which we've got to get things right. We've got to get things right in that game when we come back off the international break, because this is now 4 games in the Premier League we have played. We've won 1 and lost 3. That is not Newcastle United. That is not the way we perform, especially not under Eddie Howe. And the goals were just leaking goals at the back as well. We conceded so many goals already this season, and last season we only lost 5 games. We've already lost 3, so we're only 2 away from what we lost last season, so it's not looking good at the moment. The Premier League table, of course, you will see up on screen. Newcastle are 14th in the league after 4 games played, 3 losses, 1 win. Of course, that opening game win against Aston Villa. I mean, I don't literally know what has happened in Newcastle United since that game we played against Villa on the opening day. We looked absolutely fantastic. We were all over Villa in that game. And now, in the game against City, we had moments where we should have done something in that game. The game against Liverpool, we were winning it, then we ended up losing it. And then this game today against Brighton down at the MX, just absolutely dreadful. Some of the worst football I've ever seen, we play under Eddie Howe. And things have got to be, questioned. Things have got to be looked at. We have got to be, going in the right direction. And if this continues, you do have to start wondering, down the lane, will the owners be looking at a change of management now? I'm not saying by any means, we should jump to that conclusion right now, because it's only early. There's plenty of time. Like I say, there's a whole load of fixtures for to get, things going after that international break. But we have games in Europe as well that we need to be focusing on as well. But mainly, we need to focus on the league, because if we can't do things in Europe, then we need to be getting back into them Champions League spots, them European spots in the league. And at the moment, we currently sit 14th, so it's not looking good for we. Things just ain't looking good for we at the minute. Evan Ferguson, of course, was the standout player, unfortunately. For Brighton, he was the standout player. He just had one of them games, 4 shots, 4 on target, scored 3 of them. So there's not really much you can do about it when things like that are happening. But that first half was just absolutely dreadful by Newcastle. But let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. I don't want to harper on. I don't want to talk on forever about this, because it's just one of them games where it's pretty much not been the greatest day for it again, So let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel, and, however lads.